Speaking of the big game, Joe, thank you. The Independence Bowl, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, kicks off tomorrow. And while fans are gearing up for the big game, excitement is also building across Shreveport-Bossier for tonight's free family-friendly events. KTBS 3's Riley Curry joins us live now from Bossier City. Riley, tell us about Rally on the Red tonight.
Hi, Alex. So yes, Rally on the Red is set to happen in just a few hours. The parade will start at Margaritaville and will end in the East Bank. And players say they are having a good time in Shreveport so far.
It's great, we're staying at a different hotel this time around, so that's been a really cool experience. Everybody's been really nice to us, like the player hospitality room, like Independence Bowl does a great job, with like hospitality and like the community of Shreveport, so it's been a great experience for us.
The events tonight are free, and although it is cold out here, it's set to be a good time. Thank you, Alex. Back to you.
All right, Riley, certainly looking forward to all of the events. We do appreciate that update. Meantime, the two teams gathered for a pregame press conference at the Margaritaville Resort Casino this morning. Now, this is likely Louisiana Tech's last football game as a member of Conference USA before they head on over to the Sun Belt, where they'll join tomorrow's opponent, Coastal Carolina. Another storyline to the matchup, Coastal's head coach, their interim head coach, Jeremiah Johnson. Now, you might remember him. He was Tech's DC a season ago.
Coach Cumbie is one of the best humans that's in this business.
He's a phenomenal football coach. He did an unbelievable job with our players while he was here, and he's a great man. He's a really, really good teacher.
The game will kick off tomorrow at 1 o'clock from Independence Stadium. If you can't make it in person, you can watch it on ESPN. I'll also be there for recaps all throughout the day on KTBS and right here on KPXJ. Well, Louisiana is heading back to Pasadena for the 5th year. The Bayou State is bringing its signature flavor to the Rose Parade with the Gulf to Gumbo float. This year's float is designed to highlight seafood, cuisine, and teamwork. It aligns with the parade's theme of the magic of teamwork. The float features a pelican chef stirring a pot of gumbo. A shrimp boat hauling fresh seafood will lead the float.
Well, the return on investment is huge. For under $1 million investment, we get about $50 million in coverage. And this year's theme, teamwork. What better teamwork than to build a pot of gumbo from the crops that come out of the ground, the spices, the chefs, the seafood, everything goes in a big pot of gumbo, and it takes a great team. So we're highlighting not only tourism this year, but all our great Louisiana products.
Food and tourism, that's tied together in Louisiana. We have more than 400 fairs and festivals, and you can go all across Louisiana and have the finest Cajun or Creole cuisine that you've ever had.
And you can catch the 2026 Rose Parade New Year's Day at 10 o'clock over on KTBS. Coming up, we're going to help you understand the law with some help from our local experts.
I'm ABC's Perry Russman in Washington. A high-stakes meeting today between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as Iran says it's at war with the two countries. That story coming up.
Coach Cumbie is one of the best humans that's in this business.
He's a phenomenal football coach. He did an unbelievable job with our players while he was here, and he's a great man. He's a really, really good teacher.
Today and every Monday, we're making sure you understand the law. But before we do that, we have to say this. This segment is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by watching or participating in this segment, so you will want to reach out to an attorney for any specific legal advice you might have. So happy Monday, and I guess welcome back to work for a lot of folks after the Christmas holiday.
Absolutely.
Hope it was good for you. We got Bill Kindig from Rice and Kindig here with us again. And, you know, around the holidays, obviously, hit and runs, they spike. So today we want to know what happens if you're injured in a hit and run crash on New Year's Eve, because we know maybe a lot of alcohol flowing on New Year's, maybe some dangerous roads.
Yeah. So hit and run is handled a little differently in Louisiana. You know, the police certainly have plenty to do, and hit and run, unfortunately, is fairly low on their list of priorities. So you need to do everything you can to make certain that you arm the police with information that they're going to need to follow up and investigate. Now, obviously, the first thing is we're going to want to tag to the car, but also be able to describe the driver. And I say that because what happens is if the person driving the car does not have the owner's permission and they're going to claim, oh, my vehicle was stolen, there may not be coverage. There's some circumstances where we can still get coverage, but most of them we can't. And so being able to describe the driver, and if the driver looks just like the owner, we probably have a situation where somebody's not telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to tell people to drive paranoid. You know, we tell people to drive defensively. If you're looking for a great Christmas gift, and you got a bunch of stuff that you don't want and you get to pick out your own thing, dash cam cameras are really great because that's going to help record the information that you're going to need. But if nothing else, you know, do try to get a tag number, description of whoever was driving. What did the vehicle look like? Unfortunately, most folks, they're hit and run and they're so upset and disturbed, they can't. It happened to me in New Orleans. Very sweet lady looked out the window and she kind of waved at me like I'd stop if I could. I don't have insurance. So that brings us to the second part, and that is what coverage protects you when you're injured in a hit and run. And it's going to be your uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage and your med pay. This is different from UMEO. UMEO will cover you, but it will not provide for your pain and suffering and many other things that will provide. So just remember, you know, uninsured motorist. It covers when you are hit by somebody who doesn't have enough insurance, and it also protects you when you're hit by a hit and run driver. And that way, even with all the information, if the police don't catch the individual, you're still going to be covered.
And I would assume that it's advised to not chase after this person.
Oh.
There are other ways, you know, maybe some security cameras or something like that could help you out.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, look, we read about road rage all the time, and that's a very dangerous proposition. If you're in around a business area or in a parking lot, you're much better off spending your time going inside and saying, do you have cameras that cover this part of the parking lot so that we can track down the information? But yeah, I would please do not take matters into your own hands. It's very dangerous, and it's certainly not worth your life or the lives of others. If you're giving chase, and this is a situation where even if you're justified and breaking the speed limits and doing whatever, if you cause damage while doing that, it's on you, not the person who stole your car or who hit and ran you.
Right. So great advice there to kick off the new year. We always appreciate having you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Absolutely. You too.